Good morning, everybody, but the East Coast of North America. For those of us here, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm filming this one a little bit later. We don't have anything going on tomorrow. We're fine. I can take my time, enjoy this video coming out, cover all the headlines that we need to, because the next video I'll have out will be for the first day of bracket stage, which will have the G2 series and I think HLE, if I'm not mistaken. We'll get into the bracket in a bit, but we do have the series to determine the final team getting out of the play-in stage. Will T1 go undefeated? Will TL cause one of the biggest upsets in the world? Let's find out. Doran and T1 against Team Liquid, Core JJ, the rematch that we've all probably knew was coming. It was either going to be TL or KC, and early, it's going T1's way in Game 1. This would be the case for most of the early games this series, but Game 1, really no shock here. But the biggest thing that we were looking to see was, would it be a continuation of what we saw in the first two games of the original series, where TL fights back? And early on, sure didn't look that way in Game 1. But, luckily, wasn't quite over yet. Nice little outplay here from Morgan to keep himself alive, which then ends up leading to a kill for Quid. Pretty nice. Gets them back into the game. Make that 2 kills. Good job on Morgan for avoiding that dive. I do also want to give a shout out to this Team Liquid comp. We haven't really seen the Kaisa and Rel been paired together a lot as of late. You'd start to see the benefit of it here. If Rel goes in and has a good engage, Kaisa is able to follow up alongside the Jarvan. This used to be more of like a 2023 comp, I feel like, that's starting to make its resurgence a little bit. And I really liked how it played out here for TL as they finally started fighting back in this series. Jose Diodo still pushing it out, trying to get the kill, and boom, got it. TL still at a gold deficit here, but slowly climbing back into the series, very similar to what we saw the first time around. Nice engage from Core JJ to get some early damage down. Unfortunately, no kills to go with it, but the Temper Fate from Bard locks up 2 from TL, but doesn't quite matter. TL still winning the follow-up for now, until the Ezreal takes over. And this was the problem that you would see throughout the series, as pace continues to just be an issue for everybody. When this guy gets into his mid-game team fights, he is just a problem. Team Liquid still at a deficit, trying to fight back into the Baron pit that T1 has control over. Core JJ goes in, tries to get it. Jose Diodo trying to get the smite, but unfortunately, Owner still continuing his ways from the first time around, clutching out the smite. Doran coming back in with a triple kill on the backside of the team fight. T1 comfortably taking Game 1 at the end. Again, an early lead. TL showing signs of fighting back, which is good. Question becomes in Game 2, can they improve upon this? It's been the biggest question. Game 2s have been fun so far in this series. Well, pretty much every series that T1 has played. So we'll have to see how it goes. But for now, yeah, just picking on TL in the fountain. Expect nothing less. Game 2, similar starts. T1 ahead early, looking to dive. Yep. Yawn on the Varus, unfortunately not able to do anything early in the lane, which you expect Varus to be a little bit stronger. Right now it's a lethal tempo static shiv Varus, so it will ramp up a little bit stronger with 2 items, unlike the lethality Varus, which pokes out early. But TL would start fighting back real quick, real early this game. Same deficit, same kind of hole from Game 1, but in this particular case, TL fighting back. No, Dragon fight. A lot of fights in Game 2. The Silas for Quid, staying alive, getting as much damage as he can while Yon's trying to pump out. Yon, really the only one left to deal damage in this fight, has to do a lot to be able to carry. And one more through the barrier, got him. Nice from Yon, being able to keep themselves in this particular series. Another fight, like, it just kept going in Game 2 over and over again. These two were just throwing haymakers at each other, and both AD carries were performing lights out. Pays landing the combo, getting the kill on the backside here, and still living a double. Yep, well, that was until Yon showed up. Yon, once again, picking up 2 more within the fight. Just some good overall play in these team fights from Varus and Lucian. Another Dragon fight, probably the sickest play of the entire series. Watch Core JJ on your top side here. Hex Flash. Bang! 4-man knockup into the Rumble ult, into the Silas engage. The cleanest fight we would see from TL this entire series. I mean, just solid. You got to give props to Core JJ, who is by far the player of this series on TL. I mean, every time that you need him to engage decently well, he was doing it in spades. Like, just absolutely crushing it. Love to see him playing like this far into his career. Sole point for TL, an important secure. They're trying to zone out Lee Sin as much as humanly possible, but owner finds a way. Well, yes, TL would slowly follow up on the backside here. It's just unfortunate that Jose Dioto can't hit that smite. Like, it's 2 series in a row now that a few of these clutch smites earlier on, you get soul there. These fights become a little bit easier afterwards. Like, these are clutch moments that you need to try and hit it, but owner's just Mr. Clutch himself. Faker coming in on the backside on Lissandra. And this is where things would start to take a bit of a turn, if I'm not... Oh, no, this was the TL fight where they ended up clearing out. Oh. Pei staying alive. Lucian double lift moment. Kind of feels like it. Staying alive, poking out. Jace from long distance. Yeah, that's, in baseball terms, what we call a home run with that shockwave. And you still have 3 targets low. Watch Rumble here. Nice equalizer, but not enough to kill him. What happens on the backside? Damn. Nice attempt to engage here from Core JJ, but only hits 1. He dies almost immediately. Pays is still full health. Faker staying alive, and then it's just going to be problems for TL. I mean, everybody's up for T1. There's only so much you can do at this point, and this is where that smite fight earlier, if this is an Elder Soul fight, maybe it's different, especially when you have Mountain Soul, but now T1's able to clean up the fight. Triple kill for Pays, ace, and again, another banger game 2 between T1 and TL does go T1's way. And unfortunately, if you can't tell from the tone of my voice where game 3 is going to go, we can keep the highlights a little bit shorter than game 2 because it was a Pays masterclass again. Like, game 3 plus Pays plus Zeri is just a obnoxious combo. Already up early on in this game at 12 minutes. TL tries to make a play to try and shut down the Zeri. It does not work. And then jumping a little bit further ahead, TL does fight back a little bit, tries to go on to Zeri, and it doesn't work. But Morgan gets a kill. They stay in it a little bit. Not terrible. Again, even in the losses, signs of life for TL. Like, we're not just rolling over and dying like we've seen for North America for years. But unfortunately, yeah, final fight of the game here. Zeri given space. Zeri with the double over the wall. Zeri with a triple. Can still keep going. I don't know how Zeri got that one. That's still shocking to me. But nevertheless, Zeri pays Penta to close out the series as T1 goes undefeated to escape the play-in stage of MSI 2026. Look, to put a bow on Team Liquid's time here at MSI, it's a success. Like, period, it is a success. You lost to T1, who are a top 3 tournament favorite. There were moments where they looked close, especially game 2s. Game 1s, they were fighting back from deficits. Game 3s were not particularly close by that point. You didn't really get any momentum building, and it just is what it is. But I'm not upset with it. They beat KC. They solidly 3-0'd the 2 seed from the LCP. Like, we're right exactly where you would expect the 2nd seed for North America to be. We saw a ton of individual improvement from players. Core JJ looks back in form that we haven't seen from him in years. And on top of that, you gave confidence for people. Like, if this is the 2nd seed from North America, think about what the 1st could potentially do in this tournament. Like, that's the good sign of this. That's what we want to see. Is it unfortunate that play-ins went this way? Because I could see us being better than at least 2 other teams in the knockout stage. Yeah, it sucks. And, you know, it kind of is what it is. If that it doesn't make sense. I'm trying to be nice here. Because I don't want to be a salty North American fan. Obviously, we just lost our series and we're eliminated from the tournament. But, like, there's really no reason why T1 should be in play-ins. I will keep saying this. I know I haven't touched on it as much here, but I was very vocal about this prior to the tournament beginning and before that, because I felt like once we're in it, like, you don't complain while you're in the middle of everything. But why do we have global power rankings if we're not going to use them? Like, T1 is the 3rd ranked team in the world. Why are they in play-ins? And for anybody that's like, I'll bring up the bracket now, okay? I'll just show the knockout bracket here because I think this is a very important piece of the puzzle of all this and why the outrage is so bad. The same people that are making the argument that, oh, yeah, like it's fine that T1 is in play-in stage. Korea shouldn't have gotten beat by both G2 and BLG then if they didn't want to end up in this position. Sure, but then why is G2 playing up against top esports and not one of Lyon or Furia or TSW? Like, that's the part where there's inconsistencies all throughout. Like, it's fucking terrible. Like, I'm happy by all means. We'll get into the Lyon match. You know what? I was going to say this, but I guess I'll just, like, condense the format rants all into one. I'm happy as a North American fan that Lyon gets Fury. Like, confidence-wise, I'm feeling real good about a 3-0 on this part to send us into the upper bracket round 2. It's a good warm-up. We shouldn't have got this matchup. Like, there's no world where we should be getting this matchup at all. Like, we've done nothing to, like, get to that point. I'll take it, by all means. But then, like, the power makes no sense. Because if you're gonna reward first stand as, like, this ultimate seeder, then why the fuck are the 2 teams that performed best at that event getting punished the hardest? Why is BLG playing T1 in round 1? Why is G2 playing top esports in round 1? That makes no sense, Riot. Like, I don't fucking get it. It's not hard in this situation to sit here and say, okay, if we had a panel of experts, which you have, you employ almost all of them, and they came out with a ranking of these 8 teams, or even of all the teams in this tournament, and you put the bottom 4 in play-ins, regardless of what region they're from, the bottom 4 teams get a chance at play-ins. If you want to guarantee one from every region up there, fine, but I think Brazil should be down there. I think Brazil should have 2 teams at the tournament before Brazilians really freak out and say, oh, our 1 team here and you want to put us in the play-ins. I think you should have 2 teams as well, and Riot should reinvent this format so that maybe 2 teams come up, so you have 6 teams playing for 2 spots. That makes more sense to me. You have 2 groups of 3 and do like a mini double round robin, or not double round. You do whatever format you want, like GSL style. Fine. And you power rank it based on the seeding. Like that sounds like a fairly easy solution to me, because then you have the 2 teams from the LPL, the 2 teams from the LCK automatically up there. And then you have, say, obviously G2, and then the highest ranking out of either the 1 seed for the LCS, Brazil, or LCP. Problem fucking solved. Problem solved. Like, what's so complicated about that? Nothing to me. So now, like, we just sit in this world where, like, we know the matchups are weird. We know the bracket's not perfect. And we're going to have to pretend like it is. I'm mind blown, because we realistically, like, it's not that TL should have been in the knockout stage. It's just we should have had a chance to earn it over anybody but the 3rd best team in the fucking world, and a team that might actually win this entire tournament. That's all I'm saying. But you can't discount T1. They went in, did exactly what they were supposed to do in the play-in stage. Kudos to them. They look fantastic. Their team fighting is on point. I'm curious to see how that holds up against the LPL and beyond. I think that teams can beat them. They're not flawless by any means, but they have that T1 magic and plot armor. And honestly, going into this matchup against BLG, like, you have to look at them as probable favorites. I mean, they're coming in hot. They're coming in warm. They're used to the stage. They're used to this moment now. BLG is the better team, in my opinion, on the offset, but they're not. Their hands aren't warm. So I think that changes the dynamic of this BLG T1 matchup a lot. Anyways, the first 2 series that we'll be seeing from this knockout stage will be HLE TSW and G2 Top Esports. I think the one to watch, obviously, is going to be G2 Top Esports. Humble Life should take care of TSW 3-0. I'm not expecting any different of a result. For G2, this is a matchup that they would have won at first stand. And I think Top is favored still. Like, I especially given the state of Carmine Corp and how they performed, you got to give the favorites over to Top. But we've seen G2 elevate in these moments. So I'm not counting them out. I'm hoping for a 5-game banger between the 2. But, you know, EU versus the LPL is different than EU versus the LCK. So we will see. I'll be able to touch on the other matchups whenever we do Good Morning America after those 2 series in particular. Because Lyon announced at like 2 a.m. last night that Castle is no longer on the team. Yes. So Castle, let's lay out the timeline here. Castle gets bought out from DSG. which I'm assuming was, again, agreed to by him. He probably could have said no, and DSG would have been like, no, we're fine. We don't want to like give him up. But they probably told him, and he said, I want the chance to earn my starting spot on a top roster that could possibly contend for a title. Fine. It then comes out shortly after the coaching staff wanted nothing to do with this change at all. Like, they were perfectly fine with Dokla. Things needed to improve, yes, but they didn't want to make this substitution at all. And Castle got like 3 games until I think maybe 2, and that's it. And then he never played again as Dokla leveled up, as he typically does around this time of year. And you're just left here saying like, okay, well, that was kind of pointless, but hey, you know what? Castle signed up for this moment. He was the one that opted into a system where if you end up losing that matchup, guess what? You're going to be sitting on the bench. And then from there, it's your choice. Do you want to stay on the bench and get paid? Or do you want to try and go elsewhere and get an offer? Which I'm assuming he might be able to get an offer elsewhere. We'll see. But the part that annoyed me this morning, or I thought was fairly funny, is the COO or I don't know what Biblos is for Lyon, but he came out and was like, hey, just so you all know, this was Castle's choice. No shit, Sherlock. We didn't assume that he was just going to sit there the entire time and be like, yeah, my team didn't take me to Korea. I don't want to go to Arizona because I was probably told behind the scenes that I'm not going to be playing the entire weekend. So what's the point of going and just sitting there looking like a derp the entire time? Like, yeah, of course it was his choice to leave. He's giving up that paycheck under the assumption that he'll be able to get one elsewhere. But you didn't need to clarify that because you're saying that for a reason. Like, you're saying he chose to leave because you're getting flack for people saying, why'd you bring him in the first place? And the reality is when your coaching staff told you that they didn't want to probably make this change and you went ahead and forced it through anyways, yeah, you are going to get a little bit of heat for that because it feels like you're wasting somebody's time. But again, Castle agreed to this. Castle signed up for this. So you can't blame anybody but yourself for taking that risk and it not working out. You weren't able to outplay Dokla. You weren't what Lyon needed in the moment. Personally, if I was Castle's agent, I would have told him not to from the jump. Like, I know hindsight's 20/20, but we said whenever this move was made in the first place that stylistically it doesn't feel like a match. There are people that were saying, oh, but he's better for international. They didn't even fucking bring him for this one. Like, the choice has been very clear from the start. So, like, man, rough situation for Castle. I'm curious to see where he ends up, whether it's in North America, beyond. I don't think he'll have a problem getting a job. He's a good guy, a good player, but good luck to him, I guess. I mean, what else do you say? The final thing that I think is worth mentioning in this particular video is the back and forth that has now started between Ben and Doran. Ben saying that Doran is kind of ass, and Doran clearly having a fire lit under his ass, which I think is honestly really not going to work out well for BLG if they want to keep trying this. I get Ben's cocky, but like, I don't think you need to give T1 any more ammunition to beat you. I really don't. I appreciate the smack talk. I do, to be very clear. As a viewer, I think this BLG T1 matchup now becomes insanely hype, and the rest of this tournament, you've now given us a storyline to follow, as it's realistically been just saying that everybody else is ass in the top lane. So fun. I can't wait to see it. But this is one of those where in traditional sports, you look at this moment and be like, ooh, this could be an edit montage moment for a long period of time if it doesn't work out for you. If you call your shot, it's fantastic. If you don't, you will be wearing egg on your face for a long period of time. And you got your first win, or well, your first international win this year at a tournament where T1 wasn't there. Nor was HLE. So good luck, okay? You got Doran and then you got Zayd. Like, you're going to have the entire T1 army against you both times you play Korean teams talking shit like this. Don't stop talking shit like this, Ben. I like it. But just be wary of what's going to come if you don't pull through. You are becoming the villain of this tournament for many people. Now, others, like myself, enjoy the villain role. I like seeing that type of personality. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for the headlines today. Nothing else really going on. The next 2 days might be a little bit more quiet. There's going to be interviews and beyond from teams that we can talk about. I'll cover the Double Lift tournament probably on Friday. Yeah, Friday after the 2 series that don't involve North America, and solidify some opinions there. The thing I would say, if you want to check out the latest Team Liquid video, Jose Dioto drops FPS for every kill that he gets. And the Shen there might be a familiar name and myself. I'll talk about that video at a later point in time. But go watch it if you haven't seen it. I want us all to see it first, and then I'll talk about the experience of filming a video with Team Liquid. It was a lot of fun. Jose Dioto's a kill whore, and that's all I can say. TL boys, proud of you. You did as best as you could in the situation. You grew a lot. Keep your heads held high, and we go into Summer Split, hopefully qualifying for Worlds, and hopefully improving. Blue, can you stay up, please? Hopefully getting better. I'd like to see that LCS title raised down in Georgia under the Team Liquid banner. Let's see it, guys.